Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to our first performance of the year. I've kind of decided this year we're going to do what we call an informance. So we are going to be playing some songs, but I told the kids be prepared to listen because I might have somebody stand up and show you something on their specific instrument. So hopefully they'll be ready. I'm sure they will be. We want to thank you for coming. And what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to do what we call focus exercises because it takes a lot of focus for 100, well, we've got 116 people in the group. And to have 116 people looking at me all the time is pretty difficult sometimes. So I said, just focus on my bald spot or focus on my wonderful face, whatever it is. But we'll be starting with that first. So if you think I'm doing some weird things, you're probably. Well, after we practiced for a while on that, but I threw a couple new ones at them tonight, and they did quite a nice job. First off, we are going to play a few scales for you. It's the 5-note scale that we've been working on, but we've been playing them in whole notes, and then half notes, and then quarter notes. Whole notes, how many counts is that, guys? 4. Half notes, how many? 2. Quarter notes? 1. Good job. All right, so we'll start off with the whole notes. I told them that I wasn't going to be that mean to them tonight to make them go bum, 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 although I'm sure they can. So we're going to do 4 quarter notes for every pitch. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. There's going to be some of these songs you will recognize, and some you probably won't. The first couple, I doubt you will. They're just teaching some things with moving up and down with the notes for the fingerings, and making sure they are counting their wrists. I told the percussionists today that I will be talking to you a lot because they have to switch their instruments between certain songs. This is one you have to switch, right? Am I right? Okay. So percussionists, just give your hands away to your parents and other audience members. Okay. I wanted to bring forth some information about them because we asked them to play numerous instruments. And we've got bells there. Could I have Ellen, could you play a couple notes on the bells for me? There you go. Try it a little louder for it. I don't think I hear you. All right. And then we've got a bass drum. Can I have Vera hit that for me? Whack it hard. There you go. And then can I have a snare drum, Taylor? All right. So, and then we've got some other instruments back there like tambourine, triangle, suspended cymbal. What am I missing? Maracas, I think. And we found out a pretty interesting tidbit for the class that, or from the internet, that there's at least 500 percussion instruments out there. And some of those, you wouldn't think that they are, but the first percussion instruments were kind of told the kids kind of gross. They actually were like bones of animals or whatever. And there's new instruments being found every day or being used. We even use parts of cars, right? Mrs. Sutton over there, yep. That is an interesting thing for that. We will start now with Rain, Rain. You guys all in your correct spots? All right. Maybe we should title it Snow, Snow. Next up on our instrument list here, I'm going to introduce the woodwinds to you. So flutes, we're going to be the first ones. I know they're not made of wood or anything like that anymore, but they are still considered woodwind instruments. Flutes, I'm going to stand up. Show them a flute. Yes, there we go. All right. Now, while they're up, I'll do that again when we get to the tubes. So flutes have a seat, and then clarinets I'm gonna have you stand up. Clarinets are a reed instrument. They have a piece of cane on their instrument that they blow air between that little hole in the black mouthpiece. And as they get used to them, I was a clarinet player too, as you get used to them, you squeak sometimes. So if you happen to hear a squeak, that's just them learning how to figure out the reed, okay? And, but it's all a part of learning it. So clarinets, we have a seat. Alto saxophones, we'll have you stand up. You are a reed instrument as well. Jack, can I have you kind of hold yours up just a little bit? Oh, Jack's, yes. All right. Then, that's great. It's got the J shape. These are primarily, besides concert band, are also played in the jazz bands. And you may have a seat. And now I have tenor saxes in the back. The reason I have them in the back is because their instruments play lower, but they are a reed instrument as well. And we are going to have Ty and Noah come on up here for a second. You come right over here to the middle. I warned them I was going to do this, so they know the drill. Come over here, guys. That way everyone can see. Now, same J-shaped instrument. However, do you see a little difference in size? Just a little bit? Put them right next to each other. This one plays lower. Now, there's also a bari saxophone, which we don't have yet. That's a lot bigger, but that plays lower yet. And then the soprano saxophone is tinier, and it's shorter than that. But so, thank you, gentlemen, for your demonstration. So those are the saxophones. Those are your woodwind instruments that we have in this band. So percussion, are you ready for this? Awesome. Here we go. I think this could be their favorite song. Am I correct? Maybe? Okay. Okay, as the percussion are switching to their next instruments, I'm going to introduce our brass players. So, brass people, all these instruments make the sound by buzzing their lips. I always get to tell them they get to do something in school that we never encourage anywhere else, but they get to do that. So, they kind of like to have fun with that. Trumpets, may I have you stand up, please? There we go, our trumpet section. All right, you may have a seat. They are one of the higher melody instruments. Trombones, I'll have you stand up. And then Mason, I'm going to have you hold your instrument up. The big thing with the trombone is it's the only instrument that has a slide. Can I have you show them the slide just a little bit? Yes. They have to remember spots on the slide where to go for certain notes, where all the other brass instruments just have fingerings that they push down with valves. All right, trombones, you may have a seat. French horns, over here. They are our wonderful French horn section, and theirs is the more circular instrument. They are a wonderful harmony instrument for the band. So have a seat. And then we have baritones. Have you stand up. And my tuba players. Now, I told them they don't really have to raise those heavy things up. But if you can tell, the baritones are kind of like baby tubas. The tubas get kind of big, and they are all, I'm not being cruel to them, they are all putting them on a stand back there so they don't have to hold the weight. All right. Oh, and baritones, I'll have you sit down for a second. Now, I'm going to, come on, I'm going to have you stand up. Show them your flute again. Okay. As opposed to tubas, we talked about this earlier in the year. Which instrument, a flute or a tuba, do you think requires more air? Clap if you think it's the flute. Okay. Clap if you think it's the tuba. Oh, wow. Flute got more. They're actually the same. Yeah. It's just the fact that they have to blow their air right across this tiny little hole here, and they get to put all that air through that tube of mouthpiece. Okay? Thank you. Have a seat. All right, we are ready for Little Robin Hood. Now, a new concept that we've been working on for a while is the repeat sign. And all that is, that's a couple dots before our double bar line at the end of the song that tells us to play it again. So every song that you're going to hear from now on has us play it twice. It has a repeat sign on. All right, percussionists, excuse me, are you ready? All right. Now, I bet you recognize that song. Kids were a little surprised when I say Merrily We Roll Along is the same as Mary Had a Little Lamb. Because they're like, this is Mary Had a Little Lamb, not Merrily We Roll Along. So our next one will be Itsy Bitsy Spider as we're changing, but I decided that I'm going to introduce each school to you. We have, like I said, we have 116 people in the 5th grade band, and that is about, I'm going to ask Mrs. Clausen over there, is that about 2/3 of the 5th grade? Close? I think so. I think it's about 2/3, I figured it out. But every group has grown this year, so that's an awesome thing. So I'm going to start off with our newest school, and I'm going to have all of our venture students stand up for me. Let's give them a round of applause. Then we're going to go to our second newest, and that is Frontier. We will have them stand up. And then last but not least, our original school, Legacy. We'll have them stand up. All right, thank you. All right, and on to Itsy Bitsy Spider. special guest star tonight. Not only is she a student's mother, she is also all of these, well, not all, 2/3 of the school's music teacher at Frontier and Adventure, Mrs. Wilson over here. She's going to join us on a song that is a duet, and I've got everybody in the band playing the A part, the melody, and then Mrs. Wilson is going to do the B part, which is a little melody and then harmony for the rest of the song. So. Thank you, Mr. Wilson. All right, percussionist, you can start moving again here. All right, we want to thank everyone for coming tonight. I have a couple announcements before we start our last song. I have asked the students to, as soon as we're done, quickly put their instruments to their cases, right? And then I'm begging them, I'm telling them, I'm begging them to take their chairs to the appropriate places where we got them, because Mr. Dingman does not want to move 100 and some chairs by himself. So remember where the red chairs go, guys? Choir room is the first one, and then the blue and the black chairs go into band room. And I have to ask Mrs. Sutton or Mrs. Randick, wherever they are, I didn't bring my key with me if you're gonna want those. All right, thank you. I was having a little freak out before. I'm like, wait, no, they're gonna be here. So, we also want to thank you for coming and wish you a wonderful holiday season, a Merry Christmas. And this song is a traditional English carol entitled Good King Wenceslas. Thank you very much. The students will be back with you in just a moment.